Well, our guest today is going to be with us for the entire show, Colin Berg with the Oklahoma Department of Wildlife. You and I are getting to be joined at the hip, you know?
That's right, that's right.
It's good to have you back, my friend.
It's great to be here.
I stopped at a QT this morning to grab a cup of coffee and spotted a couple of guys coming out in complete camo, you know, and
It's
gear.
that time of year.
And they went to a pickup loaded. The back of it was just humped over. There was a tent, everything. What's in season right now?
Well, right now there's deer archery season that's going on. The deer gun season opened up on the 18th here of November, and it runs through the first Sunday in December. So there's no telling what they were actually going out to do. They could be doing that. They could be duck hunting. They could be going on a quail hunt. This is the time of year, if you're a sportsman or woman that likes hunting in the outdoors, this is what you live for.
And people don't realize the diversity of this state.
Yes.
It is intensely diversified.
It's incredible.
I've said this before, we've got more shoreline than any other state in the nation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And 13 really different habitat types that we've got in Oklahoma, from the short and mixed grass prairies, tall grass prairie, to the hardwoods, central part of the state, mixed woods, and then southeast Oklahoma, we've even got swamps.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something I had trouble getting my head around. I know that bird watching is a big deal all across the United States.
Yeah.
But I thought Oklahoma had a limited quantity or species. I was wrong. And a friend of mine, it turns out, I had no idea.
Yeah, we get a
involved.
lot of people that come to Oklahoma for bird watching,
Yeah.
and waterfowl hunters that come from all over the U.S. to hunt here in Oklahoma. We're in the Central Flyway, and it is great waterfowl hunting. So.
And that means they go from here to Arkansas, down around Smackover.
Yeah.
That's an amazing area. Have you ever been down there when the place is full?
No, I have not.
There's not, like they say, you can't get a hotel in town. But if you go to Smackover, Arkansas sometime, to this huge rice fields, you'll see where the ducks stop and party for a couple of days and then continue on out.
It's incredible. It's one of my son's actual favorite activities is duck hunting. You know, we've been deer hunting for a lot of years. He's only almost 14 years old, and he would rather duck hunt than anything else. And it's really because I think it's more of a social type of hunting experience, you know, compared to a deer hunting experience where it's mainly just me and him, or has been just me and him in a hunting blind together. When we go on a duck hunt, it's me and him and a buddy of his, or there might be another dad with us. And you can sit there and talk, and the ducks, you know, when they come in, then you get all hidden and call at them and get an opportunity to shoot. Also, if you do have a lot of ducks around, the kids get a lot of shooting in. So a lot of kids really enjoy that. And today it seems like most dads and moms, grandmas, grandpas want to introduce their kids to deer hunting first off.
Well, with ducks, though, we're talking it's good eating.
Yeah. Yeah, I love eating duck.
A lot of folks don't realize.
I know. They make the mistake of not understanding how to prepare it, you know, in a lot of cases. And that's the same way with any of our wild game. It's not the same as beef or chicken or pork. You've got to know what you're doing and follow the recipes that people have put out there for wild game, and it's great. But the aspect, you know, hunting in the United States was a tradition. You know, when we were young, there wasn't as many deer across the United States as there is now. So most people were squirrel and rabbit hunters and quail hunters and waterfowl hunters, small game type stuff, in comparison to now everybody seems to be focused on either deer or elk, and sometimes you know, antelope here in Oklahoma. But those are the big three in comparison that people list as their favorite thing to hunt, where traditionally that wasn't the case. Well,
the deer and elk population have grown, haven't they, in Oklahoma?
Yeah, and we've actually got a season for elk on all across the state. There's different limits as far as how many elk can be harvested. So that population has grown. Our whitetail population, which we're seeing the video here of, like I said, deer gun season opens up. There's going to be 250,000 people in the woods on November 18th out there trying to harvest the white-tailed deer. Those populations have grown dramatically. We annually harvest now over 100,000 deer a year, either by means of archery or muzzleloader or rifle. So it's a very popular sport and activity for people. It's a big economic impact. A lot of people don't think about the economy and how hunting and fishing affects our economy across the state. When you've got those guys that you're talking about, that they were all loaded up, they're going to some rural area probably to go hunting, and they're going to spend money, they're going to buy gas, they're going to eat, they're going to do a lot of different things while they're there. So it's a big boom for Oklahoma.
And too, smoker and barbecue grill sales are going to go through the roof.
Exactly, exactly.
Because there's nothing like smoked venison. I got to tell you, to die for. Good stuff.
I love it. I love it.
When does quail season start?
Quail season started November 11th and it'll run through February 15th.
See, I used to quail hunt, but it's been so many years.
It's been, a lot of people have not realized that our populations have made a big rebound, especially the last 3 years. Quail populations have really come back. We've done a lot of research over the years. This video is showing you the little collars that we put on these birds. And we became known as one of leading states as far as quail research. We found out, we were the first state to find out that those little dudes might travel as far as 50 miles.
Really?
From one location to another. And it just spreading genetic diversity across.
Are these bobwhite quail?
These are bobwhite quail that they're putting a little radio collar transmitter on so that they can track them and locate those birds, all throughout the day. And they're tracking nest productivity and success and a lot of different things that we were doing with the bobwhite quail and are still doing. But they've made a big recovery just the last few years. And I was talking to our assistant director this week exactly. He went out for the first weekend and had a lot of success and was really happy with the number of birds that they found. Now the northwest part of the state is still the best part of Oklahoma, northwest and southwest for bobwhite quail, but the numbers have grown again here in the northeast part as well. It's just a lot of things have changed with habitat. In a lot of cases here in northeast Oklahoma, people that have lived here for years, 50 years, they'll tell you stuff hasn't changed. Well, it's changed. There's not near as much brush out there as there used to be. There's more monoculture grass species that are out there that all have an impact. A lot more spraying for weeds, which are the plant species that produce the seeds that the quail eat, particularly during the winter time. And so there has been lots of changes that have taken place.
You'll know what I'm talking about, but back in the day, it used to be very common. If you didn't pay really close attention to what you were doing when you're cleaning quail or duck, you could break a tooth. You bite on a piece of shot.
It's funny that you talk about that.
But a lot of days, that was common back years ago. But today, you don't hear that happening much anymore because there's so many things. I used a metal detector.
Yeah.
The last few times I went, worked fine. I'm in the kitchen sweeping the birds.
Fine.
And it lets you know, well, there's one there.
That's right. And on waterfowl now, you have to use non-toxic shot, steel shot or the equivalent versus lead shot that you used to be able to use. Still find those pellets in the breast, and when you're cleaning a bird, you need to make sure that if you see a hole, you got to follow it to see if the pellet's still left in the bird. My son, we had a duck just the other night, and he found 4 pellets that I didn't find. I found 1 in a breast that I had to eat. So it's something that hunters need to watch out for.
I highly recommend these little sweepers, metal detector sweepers they use, when you're coming through a gate or something. You can sweep it. Works like a champ.
That's a good
So
tip.
file that away, and it's worth your time.
Very good tip.
You can get them, they're inexpensive, and they're a lot cheaper than a dental bill.
I can believe that.
How are we on time? Wait about a minute? Got about 1 minute. Are there places in Oklahoma that specialize in, or maybe they produce or publish certain types of game cookbooks?
I've seen a few that are in some of the different stores here in Oklahoma as far as wild game cookbooks. The Game Warden Association used to have one that they published that was a really good booklet that had all types of wild game recipes. But an online search, Amazon, you can come up with, I've searched it before, there's a lot of wild game cookbooks that are out there and available, and a lot just online. You see people posting them online anymore that are avid hunters with either their Facebook page or sharing it on Twitter or Instagram. So, watch out for those types of things as well if you want to know how to prepare your wild game.
I will tell you, and this is a true story. I grew up in Arkansas, and without fail, anytime I went squirrel hunting out of season, or when I wasn't supposed to, or where I wasn't supposed to, if I've got a cast iron skillet and I'm making squirrel and wild mushroom and wild onion, with sauce, and if there's a gravy, every single time there'd be a game warden wander in who'd end up saying, "What you cooking?" And we'd eat together, and that'd be the last of it. But that was back in the day.
That was back in the day, I
Things
bet.
have changed a lot. Yeah. We're going to take a little break. We'll be back to do more about the wilds of Oklahoma right after this.